All right, here we are at San Diego Zoo, and we're visiting the updated and renovated Spineless Marvels. So it's a really nice exhibit that features insects, arachnids, and other invertebrates. So let's go inside. So when you go inside, you'll see this really interactive exhibit where you walk through and it feels like you're an insect. Here it is in the nighttime mode, and you see lightning bugs, fireflies, whatever you want to call them. And then it looks like you're in a garden, so you feel like an insect. And then in the daytime, you got dragonflies flying all over the place and butterflies, and it's really cool. It's kind of a nice dome above you, it's airy feeling, and it's a smart addition to this exhibit. When you come inside the exhibit, there's lots of these little habitats that have insects inside. These are lubber grasshoppers here. These are the same ones that you find in Florida. And here they're eating corn, which gives you an idea of what they can do. Lubbers are kind of like a locust. Here we got a praying mantis. Everyone loves praying mantis. This is a large oriental praying mantis, I believe. And there's another one there. What's interesting about these ones is that they don't eat each other in here. So these are like, communal. Here's one of my favorites that I've seen in the whole exhibit. This is the pink katydid, and that's a natural color. So these are pretty spectacular insects. It'd be nice to have these, but I don't think you can keep them. So, there's this little informational wall for the kids and families. Then they come in, they can read the facts about insects. The idea is to educate people so that they are not afraid of insects or they don't treat them like they're pests all the time. Insects are very essential to everything. So here's some tropical June bugs, beetles, basically. They also call them Schaefer beetles or fig beetles, similar to ones that we have native in the U.S. And yes, they do fly, and then sometimes they'll buzz right by you and scare the crap out of you. But this one's just flying around the cage. And they give them fruit so they can eat. These are domino roaches. Not all roaches are stinky and home invasive. So these are a forest type of roach, and they're more like a beetle, but they're still cockroaches. Nice exhibit there. Here's an area where families can get close to some of the mounted bugs, and they get a better idea what they look like up close if they can't see them inside some of the cages that have habitat inside. And yes, those are not alive. I'm not sure what's in here. Let's see. Some of these cages, they're so well decorated and the insects are so well camouflaged that you just can't see them. And so you look all over. So I looked all over this cage for a little while, and then I realized I was looking in the wrong place until I saw one hanging from the ceiling right there. So this is a type of mantis also. These are nymphs, and yes, they're mating. That's a male on top of a female. And you'll see these in the native ones too. And you got to be careful because nymphs can spray you if you get too close to them. So you don't want to bother nymphs if you see them in the wild. And nymphs are basically a type of stick insect. Black beauty stick insect. Ooh. Okay, so these are an assassin bug. And assassin bugs here, they have a venomous bite. So you got to be careful. If you see them in the wild, you do not touch them. There's an assassin bug in North America that's called the wheel bug. And his bite is venomous, and it could really affect people that have allergies. So you don't want to touch them. Look at them from afar. Enjoy them. Don't kill them. Don't kill bugs if you don't have to. Here is a larger fig beetle. This is an African one, so these ones here are close to 2 inches long. And fig beetles are related to the Goliath beetles, and they have a few here too, but they don't have the really giant ones. So let's see, they're eating citrus here, so they put some little oranges on the sticks. They just fly around the cage. So here's one of those smaller Goliath beetles. This one here is a good 2.5 inches. Really beautiful patterns on them and some metallic hues as well. So if you like beetles, definitely Goliaths are there. The bee exhibit is really nice. They've really expanded it and they've really made it interactive. So you feel like you're inside of a hive when you come into this room. And they have some little lit up chambers of the hive that look like honey. And then they have video of the bees outside of their hive. And then underneath, you can actually see the bees inside the hive. So these bees are going outside. They're not trapped inside this exhibit. So occasionally, some bees will leave, but since they are found in the U.S., they're not invasive or anything like that. They are introduced, however, and the majority of bees come from Asia, Europe, or Africa, and they are not native. So we're always trying to protect these non-native bees, but really they were introduced here for agriculture. Our native bees are usually pretty endangered, small, solitary. Some of the larger ones, like bumblebees and carpenter bees, raise their young by themselves, individuals. So there's a photo of these bees. These are chrysalis, and these are chrysalis of the morpho butterflies. These are alive. These are getting ready to hatch, and when they hatch, they put them inside the butterfly exhibit, which I unfortunately didn't get video of this time because they were doing some renovation with the plants. But they used to have a lot more different species, but right now all they have is morphos. Probably later in the year when they're available, they'll bring in some more butterflies. So now we're downstairs in this new section of the exhibit. This is the mega bugs, monster bugs. So this is going to be a fun one here. Let's take a look at these guys. Look at these gigantic katydids. These are literally as big as my hand. Probably, you see this one here. He is about 7 inches long. Just a beautiful, beautiful insect. So here's an open enclosure that has some very large golden silk orb weavers. These are probably about 4 inches, so they're almost the size of your hand, and pretty frightening, especially knowing that they're not in a cage; they're just open. They have to replace them every year because they live only about a year, and they have security cameras to make sure people don't steal them. So I see these in Florida sometimes. And of course, what would a bug zoo be without a collection of tarantulas? And there's some scorpions in here too. Your emperor scorpions, ones that glow in the dark or glow if you have a black light. And they have a couple different species of tarantulas here. Some fairly common ones, nothing really rare. Some brachypelma, and I think let's see what else is in here. Some of them are hard to see. They're not always out. So again, these enclosures are made for the animals, not for the people that are viewing. That's another scorpion. I think that's a bark scorpion or a desert scorpion, hairy. There's a big Brazilian black, I believe. And it's a nice size. And they have some avicularia. And I think they have a green bottle blue somewhere. I didn't see this one. Let's see. I know most people have seen tarantulas, but some people are not very familiar with them, so I looked pretty close in there. I couldn't see inside the cave. They have little caves in every tarantula enclosure. Okay, so we're back to bugs again. Let me see what this is here. This is some sort of metallic stick insect, I believe. It's hard to see a lot of these because remember, a lot of these insects are camouflage masters. And so a lot of them look just like the settings inside of the enclosures. So let's see what's in here. Oh, there you go. These look like some other kind of nymph. And I didn't video the name tags. I should have probably. But see, oh, these are neat. These are these red and black nymphs. I really like these red and black walking sticks. And they're not as big as some of the other ones, but they're quite stunning as far as their coloration. And I would like to keep those, but again, they're illegal here. Here's some leaf insects. These look just like dead leaves, and they're fairly common where they're from, but they're pretty big. You know, they can get about 4 inches or so, and maybe even bigger for some of them. But they're common in the insect trade, you know, when they put them in frames and stuff like that. So these aren't endangered. They're pretty common. So interesting though for those who've never seen them. Let's see what's over here in the next cage. This is it's a pretty large stick insect there. See, they're hanging upside down. And these are kind of like a nymph also. And oh wow, yeah, there's a lot of them. The males are real skinny, and the females are much thicker. So enjoy those. You got to come out to the zoo and see these if you're in San Diego. Now we'll move on over here to this little dark area. And some of these insects come out in the dark, and they don't like to be in the bright light. Some cave insects. So let's see what they got here. This is like some sort of large roaches, I believe. You can see them walking up the back right there. So yeah, this is why you don't want to step into a cave, especially one that has bats in it, because almost always there is a big population of cockroaches on the floor. These are kind of attractive looking ones if you're into insects, but these ones have wings too, so they can fly. And there's more stuff. Let's see what else is here. I don't know. I don't know if I can see anything in there. Just move on to the next one. More roaches or spiders. Oh, these are whip scorpions, I believe. But yeah, you've seen those before. Now, this is one of the most interesting exhibits in the whole zoo. And this is something that a lot of people come to the zoo just to see specifically. And these are naked mole rats. And naked mole rats live kind of like a termite colony. And they have a queen. Even though they're mammals, they have a queen. They have nesting chambers. They don't have any hair. That's why they're naked. And there's a really impressive exhibit. And I guess they put in this insect exhibit because they behave like insects. So San Diego Zoo is one of the few zoos that has these. Here's another subterranean insect. These are honeypot ants. And I've seen these actually in person in Baja California. There's a few different species of honeypot ants, but I've seen these in Baja California, and one of the local guides actually had us eat one of the honeypots. So they're full of this really sweet nectar. It's kind of an interesting taste, but it tastes pretty good. I wouldn't recommend doing it, but especially if you're an ant enthusiast or allergic to anything. But you can see the honeypots right there, and those are individuals that carry this nectar in their body that feed the other insects, the other ants. This is the most fascinating exhibit for a lot of people. This is the leafcutter ants. And this is a multi-tiered exhibit here. So the leafcutter ants in one section are outside. They're out with the butterflies. And, where I showed you those chrysalis a while ago. So they're in the same area where those butterflies are. And they have this vine that goes up this really tall tree. And then they have these leaves for them to cut. You can see them cutting the leaves right there. And so this is kind of in the in between section between the upstairs and downstairs. And then the ants march down into their little opening here. And they've set it up so the ants recognize this as their home. So they go down this, in nature, they go down the holes of a tree or something like that. They bring these cuttings of leaves down into their den here. And then let me show you where they end up. Take a look at this. You ready? Okay, so now inside of the darker exhibit, there is these little brightly lit little chambers here. Ants can't see light, so. But here's a bunch of different sizes of ants. The colonies has guardians, and they have workers, and they have nursery ants, and they're all female ants. Male ants don't live very long, and those are usually the winged ants. They mate with the females, the queens, and then they die. So the majority of ants are going to be female, or basically non-reproductive. You see these different chambers. Some of them are empty, but then if you'll see these chambers that have these big piles, they look like a sponge, but what it is actually the leaves are put in there and they're cemented together, and then they grow fungus. They cultivate a fungus, and that's what the ant colony eats. In every chamber, there's a few guardians, and the guardians are huge. The guardians can be like up to an inch long. The majority of the other ants are, it's either from 1/8 inch all the way up to like a half an inch. But the guardians have a big head and big mandibles to protect the colony. There's another channel called Ants Canada, and he covers a lot of different species of ants, and you could really get fascinated by some of the things he has to share. Hi everyone, it's Sam Scālz. I'm back here at my home studio, and if you enjoyed that video of Spineless Marvels at the San Diego Zoo, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others so that they can see as well. I have a lot of other series coming up. I have the art series coming up, which is going to be informative, educational, and instructive. And then I have the fishing series. It's all humane catch and release fishing. And then we also have the outdoor collecting. So that's going to feature a lot of other guests. So make sure that you follow me and share with others. Share on Facebook. Check me out on Facebook, Scālz Nature Artist. And Instagram, also Scālz Nature Artist. So if you enjoyed the video, thanks, and have a nice day.